Okay, so welcome back to our trip camping around Norway. We're 1,000 kilometers in. In this episode, we're going to be kayaking on Lofoten Lake. We're going to be camping on a Unesco Heritage Fjord, and we're also going to be visiting some of the craziest waterfalls Norway has to offer. Let's get straight into it. We woke up this morning on a campsite next to the fjord, and we had a dip in the fjord. It was absolutely freezing, but we're all feeling refreshed. And we're now heading to Voringfossen, which is the first stop today, and it's one of the biggest waterfalls in Norway. Let's go check it out. So here we have Voringfossen. Now this is absolutely huge, as you can see, but this is actually the 83rd biggest waterfall in Norway. Pretty small. It's 180 meters from up here, and that's a 120 meter drop, I believe. But yeah, this thing is absolutely massive, and I'm not sure how much water it drops, but it's a huge amount, and it has been raining loads recently, so we've got it in full flow. We're gonna head down a little bit lower, or what? Let's go to that point and then go back down. So yeah, we stayed on a campsite last night, and being honest, I actually hate staying on campsites because they're just so much more noisy than wild camping, but we needed showers and we needed to freshen up, so sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. But yeah, we've got a couple of stops today on this ring road, and we're going to be camping near the fjords again, so it should make for an interesting video, so make sure you watch to the end, and make sure you subscribe if you're not already, because I'm going to be getting out a ton this year. Take a look at this waterfall. Crazy. Norway is absolutely crazy. And if you enjoyed a place like Iceland, you'll love Norway. So we're just stopping off for some food in this restaurant, and they've got some goats on the roof. Pretty mad. A little bit of a refeed. That was 20 quid. That was a fiver. 18 quid and 30 quid. Spending out here. We just stopped off for some food. Now it is pretty expensive for food here, as you can imagine, and you can claim tax back, but we probably won't end up doing it. I think you can claim 20% back, but it's like 20 quid for a meal, like a pretty average scran. Probably like double the UK, maybe 1.5 the UK if you're in London. But we're at our next stop of the road trip, which is Stegerstein Viewpoint. There's two fjords that are UNESCO Heritage Sites. One begins with a G, and I can't pronounce it, I'll put it up on screen, and the other one begins with an N. Again, I'm not going to try and pronounce it, so I'll put that up on screen. And this is Stegerstein Viewpoint, absolutely insane. Wow, this place is absolutely mental. Now, the spots here are pretty busy, but nothing like the UK or even like the Lake District. Like, there's so much parking, and because it's so vast, there's so much room. And take a look at some of these views. So we're about to set off now. Now this hike's only 2 kilometers, but there's 600 meters again, so I'm worried that it is going to be a tough hike. I'm not sure how high it is above sea level. I'll find out when I get up there, but it's some of the best views of this UNESCO fjord. Now, one thing about Norway is the parking is absolutely brilliant. I think only about 7 or 8 million people live in Norway, and it's obviously a huge country, considerably bigger than the UK, so that's probably why. But don't get me wrong, there are a ton of tourists, but everyone that I've met has been pretty sound, to be honest. Yeah, this is very steep, and we've got a long way to go. That's the full summit, and we're heading over the other side, but the views should look good, and that's what it's all about. Wow, these views absolutely breathtaking. The lads are struggling because the little tired legs are a bit tired from yesterday. But as you can see, wow. I just really want a spot that's pretty flat and maybe out the wind, but beggars can't be choosers, and I don't mind setting up in a bloody storm to get a view like that. This spot is absolutely crazy. Just take a look at that. And this is only a couple of kilometers away from the car, but wow, absolutely insane. Now the lads are pretty tired, and there is a lot of elevation on this. As you can see, it is so steep. It's like a 45% incline, but I mean, it's worth it. The steeper the hike, the better the views. Let's keep going. So yeah, my first impressions of Norway, I mean, I've only been here 3 or 4 days at this point. It's an absolutely incredible country. The biggest issue is the weather, to be honest. Probably the same as the UK. So in July, it rains 19 days a month in July, and then 14 in May. I think May is the driest month, but I mean, it's so green and lush. That's what you get with a country with this amount of greenery and forests. And being honest, guys, when you do get a dry day like today, it just makes it all worth it. Take a look at these views. Take a look at this camping spot. Absolutely incredible. Wow. The rain is rolled in, typical Norway, but we don't mind because it should pass through. The lads are watching the Euros. I'm not a huge football fan myself, so I'm just trying to get as much videos as I can and take in these insane views. Wow. I better not sleepwalk in the night though, because this place is very sketchy, as you can see. And I've just dropped my glove and it's rolled all the way down. I know the lads are concerned for me, but I spend most of my time slipping around, so it's not too bad. So the rain's coming in pretty bad now, so we've all got in this tent because their tents are tiny. And this is a football apparently. Pretty decent, to be fair. It's a good sport. I recommend watching it if you don't already know about it. So I sold the boys a bit of a dream on this holiday, saying we're going to be packing ultra light. So that's the OEX Bandicoot. That's the Nature Hike Cloud Up 2. Both of these tents are about 1 to 1.5 kilos. And then I brought my 4-season Nor tent Vern 1, which is like 3 kilos, just because I looked at the weather before coming and I knew we were going to get rain every single day. But yeah, who cares, man? Just take a look at this spot. This has got to be my favourite camping spot I've ever stayed at. So we managed to set up and get some food down us. We've watched the England game and it's absolutely started chucking it down. It's stopped now, so we're just stretching our legs and we're all freezing. Because we're 1,000 metres above sea level, obviously it's considerably colder than at sea level, obviously. I think it drops about 6.5–7 degrees per 1,000 metres you gain. So nearly a degree every 100 metres. And as you can see, there's still snow on the tops. So we're going to have a wander up, take a look at some of the views, and then probably watch a film and call it a night. Now, one of the objectives when we came to Norway was to try and camp every night. 6 nights of camping, but I was a bit sceptical that we'd be able to achieve it, mainly due to the weather. Obviously, you guys know, packing up a wet tent, setting up a wet tent can be quite grim. And obviously we are kind of on holiday, so we do want to enjoy it and we do want to be fresh for some of the longer hikes. And we are covering a hell of a lot of ground. So to make it more realistic, we're probably going to end up staying in accommodation 2 or 3 times out of the 7 nights, just so we can have a bit of a reset, dry all our gear, and then progress to our next spot. But yeah, it's dry now, and there's even some blue sky showing through, but I think we might stay in accommodation tomorrow night, just because tomorrow is going to chuck it down all day. And we're covering so much ground, guys, it's crazy. We're really cramming a lot in, but it's going really well and it's definitely worth it. But I'm going to need a holiday when I get home because I am knackered, especially coming off the back of that Ironman that I did Sunday. There's just a lot of accumulating fatigue. The lads are taking the because I keep reminding them when I can't keep up with them, that's the reason. It's not because I abuse my fitness. Fair enough, then let's go back. Mad views. Feet are soaking. It's a bad idea. The rain started again, so we need to get back to our tents as quickly as possible. And this is pretty sketchy terrain, and I didn't bring my Gore-Tex boots with me because today was meant to be dry, but I should know better by now. Norway's weather is very inconsistent. Woo! Don't know where the lads have gone. Probably been eaten by one of the local trolls. Now there's actually a law that was set in 1200 AD, which states that you're not allowed to make contact with the trolls. So, do trolls exist? Leave a comment if you think they do, or leave a comment if you think they don't. Okay guys, so this is the setup that I've been using. I've got my Sea to Summit mat, I've got my Rab sleeping bag here, all the layers that I need in case I get cold in the night, a little tripod to watch films, I've got some water, I've got a little lantern hooked on there. I always take extra carabiners because I find them really useful for things like that. I've got my eye mask and I've got some slightly wet socks drying. They're not really wet, it's just to make sure they're fresh for the morning. Sunglasses, and it is quite warm even though we're at 1,000 meters, so I've got this fully open, and I'm using the Rab 600 sleeping bag that's just in this compression sack, and it's been too warm if anything, but I suppose it's better to be too warm than too cold. It does compress down a lot smaller than this, but yeah, I'll get this out and show you guys what it looks like. So I am on a little bit of a slope, so I've used my bag to level out the platform as much as possible. I've got my merino wool base layers and socks. Now I like to sleep with these as I just think it keeps my sleeping bag cleaner, and I don't really sweat in these, but they do keep me nice and warm. This tent has vents on either side to allow decent airflow, especially with this open. Crack that top section there if I get too hot. So I'm gonna bang a film on now and get to bed, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning guys, just packing away now. It's not stopped raining for the last few hours. As you can see, the views are still incredible. So we're going to get packed away and we're going to head 5 hours, 200 miles up north to Geiranger. I'll put it up on screen.
Geiranger Fjord.
Okay, so this is where we stayed last night. Absolutely unreal. We had some cloud inversion when I woke up at 4 a.m. for a wee. The rain is coming in now. It's subsided a little bit, so we're going to pack up and get back on road. Big drive today. Let's get it. So we're nearly packed up now. We're just waiting for Clark to pull his finger out and then we're heading down. Lucky for us, it's only a couple of kilometres back to the car, so if the rain picks up again, we'll be fine. Like I say, we've got about 5 hours of driving today, heading up north to the most northern point of our road trip around the Seven Sisters waterfall area, Lockverton Lake and Geiranger, which is another Unesco Heritage Fjord. So yeah, once we reach there, we're going to spend a couple of days up north and then we're going to drive back to Oslo on Tuesday and fly home to Manchester. Made it down, we just brushed our teeth, we're going to go to the toilet now and then hit the road. Today, another ferry. I'm not sure how we're going to get charged for these. I think they just go through your reg plate and then I left a deposit, so I'm hoping that's how they're going to work, but I think this one's only 20 minutes. I'm going to grab some food out of the boot while we're chilling. 15 quid, and Clark's just had 2 hot dogs. Loads of gas stations like this that do food, so it's decent because our car's just charging over there. So another ferry. We need to find a charging port. We found a charger, but it was a slow charger. Now, to be fair, this electric car's been brilliant and it's been charging really fast, but we messed up and we plugged it into like a 20-watt charger, meaning that we left it for an hour and it's hardly charged. So we need to find another one because we're literally at 17% now. It's getting a bit sketchy, but yeah, we're about 4 hours away from where we need to go, so we're a little bit behind on schedule, but let's keep pushing. Lewis has got BBL jersey on. The car's on charge, probably for another half an hour. We've got one of those fast chargers. We've not found charging to be too much of a pain, but while we wait for it to charge, we're going to go for a bit of a dip in the fjord. It is quite cold, but there's some mad views around here, so hopefully the locals won't laugh at us too much. Bumped into this fisherman.
Guten Tag, Sauna.
Oh, unreal, mate.
Yeah, so the weather is absolutely atrocious and the visibility is pretty low today. We've had rain every single day, but to be fair, we've made it work. It's to be expected this time of year as it rains 19 days in July. The driest month is May, which I believe is 14 days, so it's probably as bad as the UK, I'd imagine. Came prepared, we've got bag covers and we've got waterproof pants and jackets, so we're making it work, but you can just make out some of the mountain ranges here and it would be absolutely insane. I think Lewis has just dropped a fart, so he's pissing it and that. Anyway, we were about 20 minutes out from a 5-hour drive and then we'll get a combination.
Right then.
Take a look at this house that we've rented for tonight. Now this was only £140. You've got forests and there's a fjord just over this side. Cabin number 3, let's take a look around. Absolutely massive. Sleeps 5 people and I had a double bed the other day, so this is going to be Lewis's bedroom. Not that bed, that's Lewis's bed. He's going to put his bag on there. And then over here, we've got the birthday boys double bed. And then my little bedroom here. And for some reason, Clark's put his bag in there. But yeah, this gaff's well cool. I wouldn't want to be in here if it was on fire though, because obviously it's all made of wood. But yeah, it's pretty mega. So we tried going to the shop, but it was shut. So we found this pub. Thankfully, it's open. Oh, that's a $5's worth. Just checked out of our accommodation in this stunning valley. That's the cabin we stayed at last night. Absolutely insane. I'm gonna get some footage of the drive using this thing that I bought. Hopefully it works and my phone doesn't fall off. And then we're gonna head up north. I'll put it on the map. Take a look at this cruise ship, absolutely mental. All these fjords obviously connect to the sea, so I bet getting a cruise is actually a really good way to see Norway. Behind, right in a car. Terrain kayaks or canoe this is on Loppetton Lake, absolutely stunning. All ready to go, got the drone so hopefully get some footage. So we've just got off the kayaks, done a restock at the Kiwi, and the car is currently on charge. We're going to head to Fjord next, to the Seven Sisters waterfall, and hopefully this weather stops because it's pouring it down. Percent are we on? 66%. From 20% to 66 in about half an hour. It's not the fastest, but it's not the slowest, it'll do. Just paid 63 quid for this ferry, which is the most expensive ferry yet, which is heavy, but it should have decent views of the Seven Sisters waterfall, but it is absolutely chucking it down, so the visibility is shocking. Don't believe it, guys, the sun is trying to come out for the first time in a couple of days. So these are all the cool waterfalls. I believe the Seven Sisters waterfalls are on that side. Snow-capped mountains, because it's freezing here, and a lifeboat in case something goes wrong, which is always good to see. Some incredible waterfalls. Jeez! Clark thinks it's that tiny thing there. He's an idiot. We have it, ladies and gentlemen, the main event. Seven Sisters. I can only count 4. Maybe the other 2 are out of office today. There is a ton of really cool waterfalls on this fjord. I bet on a sunny day it looks incredible. But it's a little bit grey today, but regardless, it's still very impressive. And there we have it, waterfall fans, the Seven Sisters waterfall. And her cousin on that side. I don't know what that one's called. It is pretty cool, I can't lie, but I just feel like it's not as aesthetic because it's cloudy. What are you saying, lad?
Amazing.
It's bloody amazing. Jeez. And then that is our car there with the, oh, that one there, with the moose warning in the window. But yeah, it's bloody gorgeous. That's gonna be me driving home. So we're at one of the final stop-offs on our road trip, the Geiranger Fjord. I think that's how you pronounce it. And then we're gonna be heading to Gloppenhocken. Okay guys, so we're back at the Tesla Chargers, refueling for probably the last time, maybe another one on the way home. We're gonna be doing Galhopping now, which is 2,500 meters above sea level. We're gonna set up camp at the base of that mountain, and then we're going to summit tomorrow morning. Our alarms are set for 4 AM, so it should make for an interesting video. Thanks for watching, guys, and if this is your first episode, make sure you go and check episode 2 and episode 1 that I dropped over the last couple of weeks. We'll see you in the next one.